Let me get it up there. We'll call the City of Vermillion regular scheduled meeting for 6 p.m. Monday, April 21st to order. Kay, will you please call roll?
Toller. Here. Lieber. Here. Price. Here. Holland. Here. Genuine. Here. Helwig. Here. Cheeseman. Here. Murrah. Here. Mayor Cole.
Here. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes from the April 7th, 2025 special meeting and the regular meeting, and also the April 15th, 2025 JJZA special meeting? If so, are there any changes or amendments, or is there a motion to approve?
I saw nothing wrong. I move to approve.
Motion approved by Councilor Holland. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Toller. Any other discussion on the minutes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item is adoption of the agenda. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda? If so, are there any changes or motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to approve by Councilor Cheeseman and a second by Councilor Price. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Agenda is adopted. Visitors to be heard. For visitors to be heard, please come to the podium and state your name and address. And remarks are limited to 5 minutes and no decision will be made at this time. For agenda items, public testimony will be taken at the beginning of each agenda item. Any citizen who wishes may speak for one time for 5 minutes on each agenda item. Public testimony will then be closed and the topic be given to the governing body for possible action. At that point, only city council members and staff may discuss the current agenda item unless a council member moves to allow another person to speak and there's unanimous consent from the council. Questions from council members, however, may be directed to staff or member of the public through the presiding officer at any time. Is there any visitors to be heard for items not on the agenda? Seeing none, we do have a proclamation for Arbor Day. If I can get it. A proclamation recognizing April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife, and whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products, and whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic validity of businesses areas, and beautify the community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, be it resolved, we, the governing body of the City of Vermillion, South Dakota, do hereby proclaim Friday, April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day. And in Vermillion, we urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further be resolved that all citizens are urged to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of the current and future generation. Dated this day, April 21st, 2025. Jim?
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council, for recognizing Arbor Day. Kind of a big one for us this year. City of Vermillion celebrates its 40th year of being a Tree City USA. It's quite an accomplishment, the processes that need to take place to make that happen. So I applaud your help with that and recognizing it. One of the things that we need to have is a budget. The budget comes from you guys. So we do appreciate that. And we hope to continue to go on 41 for next year. But I'd like to take this time just to take a few moments to share with you a new retree initiative that we've put forth for this year. In the past, we've done different retree programs where we're making trees available for low cost for people in the community and whatnot. Struggled with it over the years because it wasn't the tree that some people wanted. and they couldn't pick it up from different areas and such. There was some different issues with it. So we had a new initiative this year, which we call the Retrieve Vermillion. I gave a pamphlet or a brochure to all you at noon, so you guys could kind of take a look-see at it. I'm going to give you the quick Cliff Note version, but before I do, I'd like to just take a moment and thank a couple people on the tree board. Our citizen members, Aaron Badke and Russell Olson. I'd like to thank you to Councilman Cheeseman for the liaison from the council to sit on the tree board, and again, all the city people that work to make up the tree board. So thank you to those folks for that. The Retrieve Vermillion, to kind of go over in a real quick version of it, we're going to reimburse up to $200 for a tree that people would plant here in the community. A lot of details, and I'm going to encourage people to go to the city website to see it. We have brochures around some city buildings and whatnot, as well as here at Runnings and at Walmart for people to pick up and such. But the gist of it is that you purchase, you plant a tree, you fill out the appropriate forms, the city will then see if you meet all the criteria in place. We don't really care what kind of tree. That's not what it is. If it's a fruit-bearing tree, if it's a ornamental tree, if it's a large tree, that really doesn't matter to us. We want to get more trees in the community. Guidelines are still in place for street trees. They have to meet the street tree requirements of the species and if they can be planted in the right of way. But once it gets on your property, we're okay with pretty much where you want to plant it. One rebate per property per year. A rebate form, again, you have to fill out that form. City staff is going to go out just to verify that the tree is clear. Trees may be purchased from any retail store. We encourage you to shop locally here. The two distributors of trees here in Vermillion, Walmart and Runnings. But we also know that they only have those trees for a short period of time. So if people would like to go outside of town, we will allow outside town, but we will not reimburse the sales tax for trees from other entities and such. So only up to the cost of the tree. And as a reminder, you as the owner are responsible for planting, the care and maintenance of the tree. The city's not going to warranty it that if it would die in a year or two that we'll replace that for you. So that is still on the homeowner. Again, I encourage for full details of the program, and if you have any questions, go to the city website under the Parks and Recreation page. There's some tabs for the Retrieve program and Parks and Forestry. Also the little brochures that we have here, again, can be picked up throughout the community. And if you have any questions, please call the Parks Director here at the City of Vermillion. So, thank you very much. Any questions?
Any questions for Jim? Go ahead, Councilor Cheeseman.
Jim, can you say just a couple words about the ash borer and how important it is now to diversify ourselves and plant these trees?
Yeah, I think a little bit of the history with the emerald ash borer. Many years ago, we ran into a situation where there was Dutch elm disease, where it killed a lot of the elm trees, not only in Vermillion, but around America. There was a big effort to replant. We need more trees, we need more trees. So they found a hardy tree, which turned out to be an ash tree. We planted them all over. That was kind of a downfall of a situation where we got too many of one species. There was a disease, or in this case, an emerald ash borer, an insect, that killed those trees. So right now, it's vital that we diversify. When the city plants trees, we try and plant no more than 2 or 3 of one species at a time throughout the parks or right-of-ways, wherever we may be, just so that we can protect ourselves from future disease or insects that might be coming here to this area. So emerald ash borer is not in Vermillion yet. The closest proximity we have is in Lenox and or the Dakota Valley area, Dakota Dunes, I guess. So we're still pretty safe there. We have not had any instances where people have said we think our trees have it here, but we do continue to encourage people to either treat their ash trees when it comes a little bit closer or have them removed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other visitors to be heard? Seeing none, move on to public hearings. We have a first reading of ordinance 1529 for zoning regulations to change from NRC to residential 2 in the area of 2532 East Main Street. Go ahead, Jose.
Thank you. Mr. Wilroth IV, Mr. Wilroth, owner of the land, has requested that the city rezone Lot 3, Block 2 of Aroba addition from the NRC Natural Resource Conservation District to the R2 Residential District. If I may, there it is. So the property in question is this odd shape property. It's on the east side of the city limits. City limits are actually this dashed red line that goes this way. Right now, the property to the east is within the JJCA zoning ordinance. It's zone A1. Same thing to the north and same thing to the south. This year is NRC and this year is R2. If I would have continued a little bit further west, maybe over here, that would have also been R2, and there's some R2 further in city limits. The property in question is 3 acres in size. That property was annexed back in 2011. Mr. Wilroth has collected all the required signatures. He also had the meeting was also published on the Plain Talk and advertised, or a bulletin board was placed in front of the property. Zoning this lot into the R2 residential district will fit with the surrounding area within city limits, and also to some degree in the adjacent property owners outside of city limits, considering that for the majority they are residential uses. This item was considered by the City Planning and Zoning Commission at their April 14th meeting. At that meeting, the commission voted 7-0 unanimously to recommend the City Council adopt the rezone as proposed. There was one member of the public at that meeting, that was the owner's representative, and the discussion centered mainly on the possible uses that could occur if this area was rezoned into the R2 district. The City Council has been asked to hold a public hearing on this item. Staff and the Planning Commission recommend that the previously described property be rezoned from the NRC Natural Resource Conservation District to the R2 Residential District, and that the City Council advance Ordinance 1529 for consideration and final determination at a second reading on May 5th, 2025. The owner's representative is here for questions that staff cannot answer.
Thank you, Jose. Is there any visitors to be heard on this? Seeing none, move to council for discussion. Any discussion for council? Councilor Holland?
Jose, I'm sure you've told me before and I forgot, that small strip, he doesn't go all the way to Main Street. What's that small strip just before that?
You're talking about this here?
Yes.
That's essentially the right-of-way.
The right.
Yeah, for Main. Yep.
So the way it's drawn apparently doesn't touch Main Street. Can you still put a driveway to Main Street?
So the property, the legal description for Mr. Wilroth's property is what I have here. The zoning ordinance extends the zoning district to the right, to the center line of the right-of-way. So that's why here, that would be, if this were to be adopted, the map would then show the R2 district going all the way to the center line.
Okay, so it doesn't prevent him from putting a driveway on Main Street if he could?
I'm sorry.
Does not prevent him from putting a driveway onto Main Street?
No, he would have a driveway
Yeah.
on Main Street. Yeah.
Thank you. That's
Yeah.
all.
He already has one, actually, but yeah.
I didn't see it.
Any other discussion by council? Motion to advance.
Second.
Motion to advance by Councilor Murna, second by Councilor Price. Any other discussion on this? All in favor to advance to second reading, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you, Jose. Next item, we have no old business, so we'll move on to new business, the resolution to create the boundaries for TIF number 11.
Thank you. So there's essentially 2 steps in setting up a tax increment financing district, or TIF as we'll refer to it as. Before you tonight is a resolution to create the boundaries for TIF district number 11. Jose will have a map here in just a second which will show that. Essentially the map would show that block 3 of Madison Park Edition is what is proposed for the boundaries of TIF district number 11. This land is located on what would be the south side of Roosevelt Street. On the west you can see that'd be in the east, right? You get me upside down. Yeah. On the west is Norbeck Street, and on the east-hand side over there is Crawford. This TIF district would include the paving. It includes a couple different things. On the private development side, the TIF costs can be used to grade the site, water and sewer work, storm sewer work in the parking areas. That is one aspect of what this developer-initiated TIF would provide. The second part that does help us as a community is the public improvements that are part of this proposed TIF district. That would include the installation of water and sanitary sewer, streetlights, and the paving of Roosevelt Street from where it ends just east of Norbeck Street all the way over to Crawford Road. You heard a little bit about this at your April 7th noon meeting. You had a representative there from the ownership group who talked about the project that they are proposing. Included with your packet were about 10 pages of the draft of the TIF project plan. The TIF project plan with the numbers will be before you at the next meeting, where you'll dive into a little bit more of how they would use the funding and where it would go. That's the second step in this process if you choose to move forward. For the community's background, it would be a two-phase development. They would start this year if this comes together and build approximately 118 units in a 4-story building, with the next 118 units being constructed starting the following year. The resolution before you tonight, essentially what it does is it sets the boundaries for TIF District Number 11, which would be the same as Block 3 of Madison Park Addition. There are, as the map indicates, improvements that are outside of the boundaries of Block 3, that being the green line, which goes north to south there, which would be the sewer connection that would serve the eastern half of this land, as well as Roosevelt Street extends east of Block 3 of Madison Park Addition. What they measured on is the revenue generating source, which is going to be Block 3. The street and the sewer line aren't going to be the revenue generators, but they can be included within this TIF district as part of the improvements. So what you're asked to do tonight is adopt the resolution which would establish the boundaries for TIF District Number 11. The next steps in this process would be the TIF project plan. The developer has done a considerable amount of work on this. He is slated to bring that before the Planning and Zoning Commission at their meeting next Monday night, April 28th. Assuming that they would provide a recommendation of approval, that would come to you at your next meeting on May 5th. That would be the TIF project plan. I would note one of the things, this resolution essentially does two main things. One is it establishes the boundaries. The other is it starts the clock. There's basically a 2-year window for TIF districts. When this action, if it's approved, goes forward, that starts the 2 years that they have to complete the TIF work that's part of this project. So we would recommend adoption of the resolution to establish the boundaries for TIF District Number 11.
Thank you, John. Is there any visitors to be heard on this? Council for discussion?
Move approval.
Motion approved by Councilor Holland. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Lieber. Any other discussion on this? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yep. Opposed, say nay.
Yes.
Yes, no, okay.
No.
Motion carries. I had the first reading up, so I was almost said second reading, but never mind. Next will be a resolution accepting the agreement with the DOT for funding of pavement management study.
Thank you. So during the 2025 budget planning process, funds were included to complete a pavement management study in partnership with the DOT. An application for assistance with its study was submitted to the DOT on February 3rd, 2025. The city of Vermillion has been selected or was selected to receive assistance from the DOT to perform a pavement management study. The program works through a federal funding matching formula. The formula requires that the city reimburse the state a minimum of 20% of the cost of the study. In our case, amount will be 20%, not to exceed $35,000. This amount would be reimbursed to the state at the completion of the project. The city currently has a very basic pavement management study or plan that consists of conducting a windshield inspection of the roads as time allows and following a yearly schedule for maintenance, such as the ones that you may already be familiar with the chip seal and slurry seals. The proposed study will allow the city to adopt a process that will rate the streets in a efficient and unbiased manner. This would allow the city to have a multi-year plan for maintenance and reconstruction that can be budgeted for. The new process would improve the use of city funds for maintenance and reconstruction of streets. After the financial agreement is signed, a study advisory team will be formed to draft the scope of the study. The scope will then be mailed to consultants in the area for them to submit a proposal to the city. The advisory team will then choose a consultant to perform the study based on their proposals. It is expected that the study will take around 1 year to complete. This time frame also includes public meetings. The cost for the study to the city will be 20%, not to exceed $35,000, as I already mentioned. This will be reimbursed to the DOT once the study is completed. Administration recommends approving the resolution allowing the mayor to sign the agreement with the DOT to fund the pavement management study.
Thank you, Jose. Any visitors to be heard? Council for discussion? Jose, I know it says 20% not to exceed 35,000. Do we have a estimate at all? On
No,
what
we
it
don't have an
costs?
estimate. We just know that it's not going to exceed $35,000.
Councilor Holland?
Real briefly, Jose, what do they do different besides the windshield inspection?
There's several things that they could do. Some communities that have done it in the area or nationally, they actually get a van, like a better term, that has a lot of sensors, and they will drive the streets and actually measure cracks and so forth through a camera. And then there's actually federal guidelines as far as how roads are rated. It's a pavement condition index. So that's one way. Another way, and it's a way that we're going to see if we can get, is they sell these, not sell, but you can rent kind of like a cell phone, and it's always video recording, and then AI actually does the inspection. But you can get these fairly inexpensively. So that's the way that we're going to hopefully try to do. We know that you can use them for that. We've been to national conventions where that system has been used. So that's what we're going to see if we can utilize.
Thank you.
Yep.
So it's kind of like going to the doctor for a checkup. It could be good or it could be very bad, seeing how we're sitting, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like anything else, I guess.
Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Actually, correction. I need a motion.
Move approval.
Motion approved by Councilor Price. Is there a second? The second by Councilor Murrah. It's Monday. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed by saying nay. Motion carries. We've had 3 weeks back-to-back meetings. It's messing me up. I know, right? Next item, we have a declaration for abandoned vehicles in city surplus.
Thank you. So in order for the city to dispose of items that are no longer in useful need by the departments, they need to be declared surplus. When a vehicle is impounded and placed at our lot, we have 60 days from that time to notify the person that the car belongs to, and if they don't notify us back and never pay for the fees to get their car back, it then in fact becomes our property. This is declaring all of the items, all of the vehicles that are in the impound lot currently as surplus, and we will be selling those on Purple Wave. It should be noted that a few of the cars are actually going to be used for training. The other item is we have a city vehicle. It's a park ranger picker that we are going to declare surplus and sell on Purple Wave as well. And then we also have a Chrysler 200 Limited, which was with the police department, that is going to be surplused and sold on Purple Wave. There are other numerous items from the police department that have been confiscated for evidence, which is the list that I sent out to you guys earlier today. Those items go from gift cards to IDs to cell phones to wallets, things like that. The police department is going to take those items, and the ones they can sell, they'll sell, otherwise they'll dispose of them as properly needed. So what I need from the council is a motion to declare all of those items surplus.
Thank you, Katie. Any visitors to be heard? Seeing none, council for discussion. Councilor Cheeseman.
So I read in there that there was some money that was,
Are you gonna claim it?
I bet it was green. So, like, where did that money come from? Just found in cars, or is it a totality of something, or?
So,
You want me to answer this?
yeah, you can, if you want to.
A lot of times, the citizens will actually turn in money, found money, if it's sitting on the street, on a sidewalk, something like that, or just a police officer that's out on patrol and comes across some cash or something like that, or a lot of times even in a billfold, when they log in the money that's in a found wallet, the money has to be logged separately because that'll go in the safe as the billfold goes in a different location. So then what'll happen then is it's separate. That's why I think there's a couple wallets in there, and then you see the money on as a separate item. Okay. Any other questions, Councilor Lieber?
And then the money goes where, when it's surplus? Goes into the general fund or goes back to the
Yes.
police department?
Goes in the
goes into
general
the general
fund. Correct, yep, if it's not claimed, obviously. And how long does it sit in there before we get to this point?
Well, this is the second time that we've done this. I think this has been 2 years since we've declared money surplus.
So, it's been sitting there for a while. Any other questions? Is there a motion? Motion approved by Councilor Genowine, is there a second? Second by Councilor Cheeseman. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item we have is for a chip seal project bid opening.
Thank you. So chip seal is a cost-effective way to extend the life of asphalt streets. For this project, the city did receive, we opened bids for this project on April 17th. Only one bid was received at the bid opening. The bid was from the road guy construction of Yankton in the amount of $115,519.10. Staff's estimate was $107,000. Bid specifications were sent to 5 potential bidders in the area and to 9 planned houses. A large portion of the 2025 project will be on roads located around the city, with a significant portion to the east, in the east part of town. This map here shows the chip seal streets on the yellow highlighted area, and you see here Rice, Carlton, Ratcliffe, the south frontage road west of Carr Street, Cottage from Duke all the way to Dartmouth, National from Prospect all the way to University, a small portion of Court, then Harvard south of Maine, Maple, Canby, Thomas, Catalina, Sharp, the Cemetery Road, or portion of Pinehurst, that's asphalt. Then you have the parking along Prentice Park and Brooks Drive over here on Cherry. All the other, the pink ones are the slurry seal streets. Excuse me, the street department budgets for this, for the annual chip seal project under the second penny sales fund, tax fund, street construction and asphalt overlay line item. The total budget for the chip sealing is $167,500. Administration recommends awarding the 2025 chip seal contract to the road guy construction out of Yankton for $115,519.10.
Thank you. Is there any business to be heard? Seeing none, council for discussion. We used them before?
Since I've been here once.
Councilor Lieber?
Just, there's so many different roads. I'd forgot, do you notify them that you're gonna be doing the chip seal on their road or not?
Yep, so once we get a notice from the contractor that they're gonna be here, we usually give them at least a week notice. Yep, we actually put a little note on their door.
Any other discussion? Is there a motion? Motion approved by Councilor Murray, is there a second? Second by Councilor Hellwig. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item, city manager's report, John.
Thank you. A couple of upcoming meetings or events before your next city council meeting on May 5th. As Jim might have alluded to, this tree board will host their Arbor Day tree planting event. That's this Friday, April 25th at noon. It's a program we've done for a number of years. We work with the second graders and it kind of becomes their class tree. So we'll have all the second graders there and we'll be planting a tree on the west side of Barstow Park this coming Friday at noon. Our Human Relations Commission, they will meet Thursday, May 1st at 5:30 in the Memura Conference Room here on the second floor of City Hall. And then just a reminder, our annual household hazardous waste collection is going to be on Friday, May 2nd from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. We host that at the Recycling Center, 840 North Crawford Road, and the cost is $15 per vehicle. Our Planning and Zoning Commission will be meeting next Monday, April 28th at 5:30. At this point, we only have one item for their agenda, and that's the consideration of the project plan for TIF District Number 11, which you heard about just a few moments ago. And then if that's recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission, that would come to your next meeting on the 5th. We do have, we're still accepting expression of interest forms for openings on both our Library Board and the Human Relations Commission. We have 2 terms that are expiring on the Library Board and 3 terms that are expiring on the Human Relations Commission. One of the Human Relations Commission appointments is for a post, I just lost the word, not in high school.
Post-secondary.
Post-secondary, thank you. I didn't have it written down. A post-secondary student, and it's a 1-year term for the post-secondary student. The library terms and the other Human Relations Commission terms are each 3 years. Included with your packet were 3 raffle notifications. The Main Street Center, they are selling raffle tickets at one for $20 or 2 for $30. They have 2 Jack Daniels rocking chairs that are valued at $300. The proceeds from this raffle will be used to support the activities and programs of the Main Street Center. St. Agnes Knights of Columbus, they will be selling Monday night football books for $20 each from April 12th to September 8th of this year. This is one of the raffles where the final digit of the score for each team is used to determine the winner. They plan to sell 200 books with half the money going back in weekly prizes and the other half going to support the philanthropic work of the Knights. And the final raffle notification is from Dakota Hospital Foundation. They will be selling raffle tickets at $1 each, 12 tickets for $10 or an arm's length of tickets for $20. These tickets will be sold during their golf tournament at the Bluffs on Monday, July 21st. And this is a 50-50 drawing with the winner receiving half of the funding and the other half going to the Dakota Hospital Foundation for their charitable uses. That's all that I have.
Thank you. Glad I'm not the only one that has a case of the Mondays.
Yeah, it's contagious.
Next item will be the invoices. Everyone had a chance to review the bills? If so, are there any questions? I do have one, Katie. Number 111 says supplies. Did I steal your question?
That is, I believe they provide electrical, light, and power.
This is Stuart Irby Company. Okay. That's for electric? Okay. Any other questions? Motion to pay bills by Counselor Price. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Cheeseman. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Next item is the consensus agenda to set a public hearing for May 5th, 2025 for the annual renewal of malt beverage and South Dakota farm wine licenses. And that's all the consensus agenda.
Approval of consensus agenda.
Motion approved by Counselor Price and a second by Counselor Helwig. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Consensus agenda is approved. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Murray, a second by Lieber. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.